Welcome to twoquestions.tv. With me today is Andy Petranek, and we're talking about building good habits. Welcome to twoquestions.tv. I'm Susan Baroncini-Moe. Joining me today is Andy Petranek. He's the co-founder of the Whole Life Challenge. He's also the founder of CrossFit Los Angeles, which was the 9th CrossFit affiliate. And he's a 25-year fitness coach. Hi, Andy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning. It's good to be here.
Well, Andy, we are in the part of the year when people are creating New Year's resolutions and also starting already to fall off the wagon.
Yes, they are. They're
Yes.
just about at that spot.
And I'm on the verge. So why do people fail in their resolutions to make changes?
Is this one of the two questions? All right. So, because I'm just thinking, like, is this a short answer or a long answer?
It's whatever you want it to be.
What I find is that it is a combination of being of the magnet. Well, it looks really easy to set a resolution. Everybody sets a resolution. Like you look in the mirror and you're like, I want to lose weight. I mean, how many? That's on everybody's list. I mean, it's on literally everybody's list. Top 5. The problem for most people is they don't take the next step. They don't turn that I want to lose weight into, okay, what do I got to do now every day in order to take action that will lead to me losing weight? So like a year from now, if I'm 5 pounds lighter or 10 pounds lighter or whatever it is, how do I get there? What do I need to do each day? And they also, that's one version. The other version is they try to do it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So if you set a goal, a New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, you can do that fairly. I mean, I don't know if it's easily, but you can definitely do that in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like it's not unreasonable for someone to lose 10 pounds in 3 or 4 weeks.
Not healthy, maybe, but
well, healthy or not, it's just usually not sustainable because
right.
you've had to jump through so many hoops to get to that place where you've lost 10 pounds. Your life is so radically different than it was a month before that you're just not willing to continue to sustain that because it's just like, It sucks. Life sucks. I can't eat anything I want to eat.
Right.
I'm practically starving myself. I'm drinking tons of water. I'm constantly going to the bathroom. I'm working out every day.
It's miserable.
Life is miserable. And I kind of like life the way it was before.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's what sets up these yo-yos. That's what sets up these patterns where people, will achieve. And usually they end up going back a little bit further. So if they lost 10 pounds, they lose 12, they gain back 12 pounds, and it continues on this cycle. So
been there.
Weight loss is really easy one to talk about because it's so natural for the world. And it's very easy to see, as opposed to like, I want to be more organized or, something like, or I want to be on time. That's another one that's on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah. So how do we go from that, like, okay, it's not sustainable, to something that is sustainable?
Yeah. So, I think probably, a really big important thing is to be able to see long-term. Like, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds. Let's just, is it okay we keep using that example?
That's great. I think it's a really, it's a great example for me personally, but it's also a great example in general. I think everyone wants to lose 10 pounds.
Okay, great. So, now, do I want to lose 10 pounds temporarily? Do I need to look good for something on January 30th to lose the 10 pounds? Or do I want to lose 10 pounds and stay that way? Like, is this something that I want for my life?
Mm-hmm.
So like beginning to see long-term, like long-term isn't 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people start thinking, oh, long-term, oh, you mean a few months? Well, no, not really. I mean like 20 years.
Yeah.
And maybe that's too long because it's just so far in the future that you don't know where you're going to be in 20 years. Maybe it's a year to start with. So, okay, if I want to lose 10 pounds over the course of the next year, will I be happy with that progress at the end of the year? Yeah, probably. Okay, I'll be happy with that progress. Great. Now, what do I need to do to just make a little shift in my daily routine in order to start to do that? And the key is sustainable, small, easy, and something that you're willing to do on a daily basis. Making it too big is usually a recipe for disaster. Instead of drinking two glasses of wine every night after dinner, I'm going to limit myself to one. Now, for some people might think, well, geez, you shouldn't be drinking any if you want to lose pounds over the course of a year. Well, yeah, okay, you could say that, but that's a radical change.
Yeah. And that's maybe not sustainable either.
It's maybe not sustainable either.
Yeah.
So setting yourself up for success in little habits that you could repeat over and over and over again, and that you're willing to stick to for a long time, not for a short period of time. Another great thing to do is to organize your life in periods of, I call it in-season and off-season. So, like right now you're in season, and if we're going for the year, then for 6 or 8 weeks, you're in season. Like, okay, I'm going to be really committed for 6 or 8 weeks to eliminating alcohol. Let's just say that, or eliminating bread out of my no more bread. No bread.
God help us.
No bread. And then at the end of 6 or 8 weeks, it's the time for the off season. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go hog wild and go crazy and go back to eating, gobs and gobs and gobs of bread or drinking like a bottle of wine every night. It just means you're not so rigidly accountable to what you do during the on season. And I mean, athletes know this. I mean, this is a normal thing in the athletic world. You don't play professional football all year round. You have a season, and then you have an off season. And I mean, in a lot of sports, the off season's longer than the in season.
But don't you have to be careful during that off season not to let yourself go too far off season? Because let's say I'm in season 6 weeks, and then I go off season for how long?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay, so in 6 weeks, I could easily gain back whatever I lost in 6 weeks, wouldn't I?
You could, but that 6 weeks later you're going back into an on season.
Right.
And so there's an end to the craziness. I mean, look, people do this every year around the holidays. From Thanksgiving until like January 3rd or 5th, they're like hog wild. All rules are out. They're completely off season. And but they know they're going to get on track. They already know that January 1st or 3rd or whatever the date is, it's like this kind of worldwide agreement around New Year's that everybody gets kind of back on track, gets the sugar out of their house, starts going again. What I'm suggesting is setting up kind of a schedule like that over the course of the year that allows you to feel confident that even if the wheels completely come off during your off season, you're getting back on track and you have a date set to do that. Hopefully the wheels don't come completely off. Hopefully you don't gain everything back that you lost over that, the first 6 week period, but maybe you only lost 3 pounds. Maybe it's not that much, and maybe really what you're working on is long-term habit change that's going to lead to results over the course of a year rather than the results that are going to happen in a short period of time.
Speaking of on season and 6 weeks, share with us about the Whole Life Challenge.
So the Whole Life Challenge is something me and my business partner, Michael Stanwyck, created for use in our gym. The CrossFit Los Angeles that I started, I was constantly trying to answer the question for my clients, how can I have a deeper, more lasting impact in their life? They would come to see me in the gym 3 days a week, and we would do hard workouts, and I would change their lives in many ways. But for me, it wasn't enough. It was like, okay, there's so many other aspects of health and well-being. How do we shift this? And I had been doing fitness challenges for about 10 years, like Like measure a workout, do workouts for 6 or 8 weeks, come back, do the test again, and see how much you've improved. The idea was, well, maybe we can add nutrition to that. Maybe we can add some other elements to that to make it more like into a game, make your health and well-being into a game. And we also wanted to empower our clients to be making the decisions for themselves, so that we were not the purveyors of all the information, of like, we weren't the gurus. Because for most people, if you were alone, I like to use this example a lot. If you were alone on a desert island and you wanted to get in better shape, you had no Google and you had no resources, and you're 30 years old, you've lived a life, you've been around the world, you would probably be able to invent something that would allow you to get in better shape. You might go for a walk. You might do a assisted pull-up on a tree branch. You might do some squats. You might do some lunges. You might do some push-ups. You would figure out something to do. So there's not a lack of information that people have. It's a lack of willingness to actually do something.
Yeah.
So we wanted a challenge that would inspire people to take action and would give them an impetus for using kind of a simple point system to, on a daily basis, take action for themselves. It didn't have to be a lot of action. And the Whole Life Challenge, it just completely changed the context of people's lives at the gym. We expanded it out and nurtured it and grew it. And now we have this global thing. It's we'll have probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 30,000 people in the January challenge coming up on the 20th. Mm-hmm. Around the world who are doing this thing, and they do it with their friends, they do it with their family, they do it in small groups. They can be elite athletes, and they can also be grandmothers. There is no dogma associated with what you have to do for your workouts or for your stretching or for the other elements. It combines the holisticity of 7 daily habits into your daily routine and has you just keeping track. So it's really about teaching you that A, you know the answers, B, you need to take action, and C, you need to keep track of what you're doing. Very cool.
Very cool. And so it's gamifying building good habits, basically.
Yes, it's a simple game. You there's a leaderboard. You earn 5 points for each element of the 7 daily habits. Each of the elements are very, very simple. Like for exercise, 10 minutes or less. 10 minutes, not 10 minutes or less. 10 minutes or more.
Oh, So, I'm glad you clarified that one.
So most people could say, there's no excuse for I can't do 10 minutes of exercise. What do you mean? Of course I can do 10 minutes. Right. So if you do 10 minutes, you get your 5 points for exercise. Mm-hmm. There's no partial credit for half that. And there's no extra credit for more than that. It's 10 minutes, period.
Right.
The only exception to that 5 points or 0 point rule with all the lifestyle practice, with all the practices, is nutrition. So right. Nutrition is one where typically with an on-off switch, like you either get full credit or no credit for missing something. Mm-hmm. That usually doesn't work very well, because if you miss at breakfast, then the wheels come off for the rest of the day. You're like, oh, well, I screwed up at breakfast, so what the hell? I'll just eat whatever I want.
I'll start again tomorrow. Oh, well.
Right. So the way we work it in the Whole Life Challenge is you get 5 points at the beginning of the day. For every infraction of a lifestyle, of one of the rules, of the rules on your list, you lose a point.
Oh my gosh.
So we have 3 different levels. We have a performance level, a lifestyle level, and a kickstart level. Let's say you're on the performance level, and you decide that having a glass, there's no alcohol allowed on the performance level. Ooh. Let's say though you're at an important business dinner and you're toasting the success of a contract that and you feel like that glass of wine or that drink is really, really important. Have it. Totally have it. You just have to deduct a point off your daily total. So you get to start to wrestle with, was that point worth it?
Right.
Is that food worth it to lose the point? So that becomes a kind of a contextual conversation that you have over the course of the 6 weeks of the challenge.
And I imagine when the challenge is kind of ended, you have built some habits that you continue after that. Is this a continuing thing, or?
Yeah, so we operate in a 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off pattern over the course of the year.
Okay.
So it's no coincidence that I think that's a really great system. I've been doing that, by the way, for the last 6.5 years since the whole life challenge started, kind of by accident, and it's worked really, really well for me. I've had 6 week periods or even 10-week periods where I've gone completely off the wagon and lost everything that I gained during the previous challenge. And I've had other 6 week or 6 to 10 week periods where I've maintained almost everything that I gained over the challenge. And I've gradually seen improvements in the choices that I make in my life over those 6 or 7 years that I've been doing this. And it's gotten me to change my context of long-term thinking, because I'm just like anybody else. I think as human beings, we typically see very well what's in front of us, but we don't see very well what's around the corner. And when, 10 years is around the corner, it's definitely around the corner. It's very hard to see. When you slow down and you relax and you give yourself the room to be patient with your growth, it's really interesting what happens. And as you grow, as you continue to grow, and as you continue to make those changes, the habits support those changes continuing. And as long as you're committed to the habits and you're not super judgmental about yourself for not hitting the results.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part, right? Commitment to the habits, commitment to the process rather than commitment to the results. And, there's some people in professions that can't afford to do that. If you're an actress or an actor, and you need to lose 10 pounds for a role, okay, I get it. There are exceptions to this rule. But generally speaking, process goals that are focused on, okay, I'm going to commit to 5 minutes a day of doing this one thing, or I'm going to commit to no bread for the next 6 weeks. Those are process goals, as opposed to I'm going to lose 5 pounds by February 15th. Those work better. And these 6 week periods of in season and then relaxation are really great for your mind, because they let you off the hook. They let you be accountable and be willing to be accountable, and then they let you off the hook.
Well, and imagine if you're going into, if you're off season and I'm going to be off season for 6 weeks, but in 6 weeks I'm going to be on season again. Maybe I don't want to go crazy because I'm going to have to do it all over again. And maybe I want to start at a good place so I make more progress next time. Maybe each time you're thinking ahead that way.
But you're not worried about being so accountable. You're not worried about, writing things down. You're not worried about, keeping track of something in an app. You're kind of relaxing into it and letting yourself kind of make normal everyday choices that come up anyway, that, and then kind of not worried about it. And then, because that 6 weeks from now, you're jumping right back into the accountability game.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we may be having a 2questions.tv whole life challenge team. We're kind of working on setting it up with your folks. And so if viewers, if you want to join our team, if we're doing it, we'll have a link below for you to join, but you got to join by January 20th, right?
The registration will stay open after that. It'll stay. We usually keep registration open till like the 30th, like about 10 days. Because people get excited typically on day one, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get my
tell their friends
with me," and they just don't take action to invite people until that day. And we tried closing registration after that first day, and we just got upset people where they're like, "What do you mean my friend can't join me? I want my friend on my team."
Nobody likes to wait 6 more weeks.
Right. So
That's
it's actually 12 weeks, because we don't start another one until we go 6 weeks on and then 6 weeks off. So it's from start to start, it's 12 weeks between challenges.
Oh my gosh, that's too long.
Yeah. So you have about 10 days after the 20th to start. But to get a fresh start with everybody else, it starts with your sleep on the night of the 19th.
Oh my gosh. Okay, good. All right. So viewers, if you want to join our team, and we're doing a team, we're still working out the details. We'll have another video. If we do it, we'll have a video talking about it and everything, but the information will be below in the show notes for today. Andy, thank you for joining me today. This has been super interesting.
You're welcome. It's really, really good to be here. I'm really excited to hear about how your team does and how you do in the challenge.
Me too. All right, viewers, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.